What's going on YouTube? It's fineokay. I'm actually streaming right now, so what this video is actually going to be live. But what we're going to be talking about is the changes to the map for season 5, and kind of they gave us the mini map and kind of showed us what it's going to be looking like for season 5. So pretty exciting stuff. Thanks to HiRez for showing us it, so we can give some feedback and check some stuff out. They told us some of the changes they're actually adding and stuff like that. So I'm going to come back to these, but I just want to go ahead and show you guys what it's going to look like. Let's go straight to the mini map. So here it is. This is a work in progress, like it says in the top right. So this is not final. Everything could change, but I think basically this is what it's going to be like, and they'll probably get some feedback if they need to change anything. So yeah. So a few things to note to start off is it looks a little bit bigger. It is 20% wider. I'm pretty sure that means it's 10% wider on each side. So over here it just pushed 10% over here, and then over here it pushed 10%. So it's 20% wider. Now let's talk about that real quick. Right now it takes about 9 seconds for you to get from mid to the side lane, probably solo. And if you were in duo and you wanted to get all the way to solo side with boots, it would probably take you like 20 seconds, which is that's not that long. Maybe a little bit longer, depending on your character and how much movement speed and everything like that. So that 20% isn't that big of a deal. I wish they made it a little bit bigger, maybe even 30, maybe 40%, and mess with that. I think 20%. I mean, you can't really go back with this. Like, this is one of those things that's gonna stay. So the 20% is gonna stay like that, because it's not like they can just make the map bigger. They can like change things in here, but yeah, they're not gonna go back on that. So that change I don't really think is that big of a deal. In fact, I wish they had gotten more on that. The jungle camps are going to respawn faster, but they're worth less XP and gold. This is good because they spawn faster and you're getting them more often. That means you could snowball if they were worth a lot of XP and gold. But if they're worth less, that means jungle can, solo farm in the jungle and maybe actually be a jungle, depending on how Boomba's mask is changed and stuff like that. So this change is pretty good. And here we go. Just like I said with the Boomba's mask thing, the values for XP sharing or splitting has been decreased. So that's going to give us more options to actually group up, and we don't always have to share things, which right now you want to do that because first of all you clear the things faster, and second of all you actually get more XP out of it. So that's pretty good. We need to see what they're going to change to Boomba's mask. They need to make it so not everybody's buying it, so only the jungle will buy it, and that should fix this problem that we have with XP sharing. But one thing to take note is if a map is bigger, it's 20% wider. It's not that big of a deal, but if a map is bigger, that means you need to clear faster to get to the rest of the farm. So that kind of promotes sharing, but depending on how the XP and everything like that and Boomba's mask, like I said, goes, like we have to wait for those changes, and then we can really find out whether we're going to be sharing all the time. And then jungle and lane minions are worth more over time. So this is just to help with the early game. If you dominate the early game, you don't have to instantly lose the game off of snowball. So that's good. All those changes really help with that. So we talked about those changes a little bit, but then we're going to talk about the actual map itself, because they showed us the mini map, and there's a lot of different things going on here. So apparently what they said, there's a fly in here or something. Apparently what they said is that fire alleys are gone. I'm worried about that because I'm a solo laner, right? Fire alleys are gone, but they're going to have something else here. So they didn't tell us what quite yet, so that's going to be a surprise. Looks like Portal's still there, which is kind of, I don't know, I feel like Portal Demon kind of promotes snowballing, because if you can get it, you can bait fire, and you can instantly get back to this side of the jungle and stuff like that. So I don't know if we should have kept Portal. But the most glaring thing, or most obvious thing, is that speed buff is actually way far back, basically where back camps are right now on the current map. So this does two things. One, it means that the jungler's path is going to go straight to it right out of base, so it's going to be a lot easier to get, especially if he's going towards like solo to get like a gank or something, maybe help with blue. Also, it makes it a lot harder to invade, because you really have to commit to this backside of the jungle where a teammate could say the ADC backs could instantly be here if they that they're going to invade. You also have to put a lot of resources to get there, and if it's harder to clear waves, or if it's you're not clearing as fast because you're not sharing, then it's going to be harder for everybody to group up and actually get it to those back camps where what they are now, they're back camps, but what will be a speed buff. So that's a good change. It's going to help with constantly invading speed, and you never getting your speed just because they can always be there so fast. So combine that with the sharing stuff and stuff like that, it should make the snowballing a little bit better. And another very glaring thing is that it's actually symmetrical. So all the Smite maps ever have never been symmetrical. There's always been issues where like certain things, like on the current map right here, if you are playing on Order side, you can actually see straight to the red buff from dual lane if you're just sitting in the middle of the lane. Whereas if you're playing on the Chaos side, the ADC cannot actually see the red buff at all. And I mean, like, you can literally see a small minion on the red buff in the current map in the dual lane. And there's also some other issues where there's certain walls, the textures are a little bit different on different sides of the map. So now it's finally symmetrical, so we do not have to worry about ever blaming the map or having a certain higher win rate on one side of the map based on the map and stuff like that, or certain comps. So yeah, we have that. Mid camps are still here, and then there's a Gold Fury, and apparently these are still oracles. I don't know if the vision's actually going to reach Gold Fury here. It depends on how they look, but it's quite far away. It's a bit different than the current Gold Fury. There's these two rocks here which are going to be interesting to play around Gold Fury. Right now, kind of Gold Fury is like an open area. You kind of just, you know, brawl it out inside of there like a little arena. But with these two walls, it's going to make things a little bit different and actually could change like the meta as far as Gold Fury fights and stuff like that. So that's interesting. Like, imagine being a Medusa and turning this wall with an ult. Right now, you could only do it like on this side of the Gold Fury. So that's pretty interesting. Towers seem pretty much the same. This is still going to be the short lane, still going to be the long lane. Solo side over here, and then duo over here. Except right now, this is basically duo, and this is basically solo. At least in ranked and stuff. There's still going to be these back camps. So instead of having the speed buff right here on this side of the map, they're going to have 2 XP camps. I assume that these are just XP camps. We don't really know. You know, you're not going to be really looking to invade those. If you're really trying to push lead, maybe. The only thing I don't like about this is how rounded off it is. Like, there's probably like 1/4 of this is actually open to get into. I think you need to open it a little bit more. It seems a little bit too closed. But while we're talking about the jungle, I guess, since we're talking about the jungle right now, they actually showed what it's going to look like a little bit. So I think this looks pretty cool. There's actually fog, a bit of fog. You know, Smite used to have fog of war, but they took it out. And I guess they like the idea of it, so they're kind of implementing it back. Hopefully it's not too crazy. But this does help because right now, if you're in, okay, let's go back. Right now, if you're in duo lane or solo lane, and you like look at one of these paths, you can see them all the way into the middle of the jungle, which is, I think, kind of stupid. Kind of takes away the secretness of ganks and, you know, trying to be tactical about things. So this fog of war should be helpful, but they need to make sure that it actually blocks line of sight and blocks player health bars and stuff like that. Because like right now in solo, on the current solo map, the jungler can sit behind this little square wall, and if you don't have any line of sight on him, but you can see him through the wall somehow. Like, his health bar just randomly appears. It's actually saved me a few times in solo. It's pretty stupid. So hopefully the map in the fog of war fixes stuff like that. Purple buff's still the same, so it's still going to be defense. Kind of wish they changed it to attack speed so mid lane can actually get red buff. Because right now red buff is just the dual lanes because it's all about, you know, out pressuring and out trading over there. And you know, Fire Giant's still here. One thing I wish that they would add with this new map, again, we can't really tell because they said that there would be something here in the Ellie's place, is something that can help you siege. So if you kill this thing, like a siege juggernaut, like in the siege map, something you kill and it helps you push, maybe tanks towers for you or whatever. So something like that I kind of think would be a good idea, especially with how tanky Phoenixes and towers are now, the tier 2s. And then blue buff, of course, is still here. So, and then we have the mid camps. I think I already mentioned that. So, all in all, there's actually not that many changes. The most glaring are the speed buffs and the fact that Ellie's are gone, and of course the symmetrical part of the map. But one other thing I guess we should talk about a little bit is these Titan rims. They seem very, very large. Just like look at it right now. I'm pretty sure right when you cross the wall behind this Phoenix, you're in the Titan's range. But like right here, look at all this room between these. Behind the Phoenixes. I don't know if that's in leash range of the Titan. We'll have to see and test that out, but it seems quite large, and I don't really understand the reason for it. But yeah. So I'm pretty excited for these changes. It's gonna be really fun to play. Obviously, any changes I would have been excited for because it's kind of getting stale in this current meta and stuff like that. But I don't know how much this is gonna change as far as meta. We have to really look at the items. We really have to look at the I guess like what characters are being played, what is going to be in place of Ellie's, and we really need to know the XP values and stuff like that. So yeah, excited for the changes. I'm glad that the map is finally symmetrical. That's a really big deal. It's looking pretty cool. The art looks pretty cool for this. We don't really get to know what theme it is. I'm assuming it's still going to be like Greek or whatever it is, Roman. But you know, the art seems pretty cool, so I'm pretty excited. I hope you guys are as well. Let me know what you think of the map in the comments, stuff like that. I really do appreciate all the feedback I get, and yeah, let me know if you're excited for it. I'll see you guys later. And there we are.